Hey, what's up Alpha Gang? It is Mike from AlphaGenPerformance coming at you with another video. It is finally time. It's been 2 years in the making. I know I've hinted at this before that I was planning on doing a big engine build, but tomorrow is going to be the big day. I'm going to be dropping off at XS Company. They're going to pull the engine, and then it's heading over to Alberta Racing Engines to get the full build done. I will provide some details of the actual build, what I have included in the actual build itself, in terms of the bottom end and all those details, and some of the other things I plan on doing with it. I'm including dart mid sleeves, also doing cams, and a few other things too. But I'll put that somewhere up here so you can kind of get an idea. Same with pricing. I'll go over that too, just to kind of what to expect throughout the process. But for now, we're just going to go do the drop off, and then I'll try to take you along on this journey as we get the engine pulled, put it back in, get everything running right and whatnot as well. So so far the engine's been really solid. It's been really healthy. There's not much to it. You can't really see the last upgrade, which was like the modified stock frame turbo that is down there. It's equivalent to more of a 20G that we did pretty good numbers with. We got about 363 wheel horsepower on that turbo just recently. But probably when I do pull this engine, just to make it a little bit different, I think I will probably get the valve cover maybe painted a different color. I was thinking like maybe like a red. Like I really like the Honda red that they have on their valve covers, like some of the S2000s and whatnot as well. So I might do something similar with that. And then maybe my timing belt cover in the front, maybe I'll just do like a gloss black, but make it a little bit different with the change as well too. So, but eventually we'll be doing like a big top mount setup here with a larger turbo. I do have a Borg-Warner S200 SXE that's going in here as well, but I've seen some other pictures and I almost want to do like a really cool powder coated gold color for the turbo, make it look really flashy and just kind of clean up the engine bay as well. So yeah, that'll be pretty interesting, and things could change, of course, on my preferences between now and then when we get it all finished. But we'll probably add some maybe a little bit more carbon fiber here too. I've even seen some intake pipes that were made with carbon fiber as well too off the top mount setup. So I would love to try to incorporate that, just because I do love carbon fiber, with having a lot of carbon fiber on the vehicle already. But as for the process, if you're planning on doing a build yourself, and you are in Edmonton or in Alberta in general or nearby, all I ended up doing, I did have some of the parts already. Like I did already have the dart mid sleeves, I did have the connecting rods, I did have the pistons. A lot of it I did order through UniqPerformance. Rob's been always really good. The whole time I've owned this car, he's really helped me out with a lot of parts. So shout out to Rob, and great customer service as well too. Couldn't do a lot of this without you, buddy. But on top of that, all I ended up doing is I had a few of the parts already, but in terms of doing the engine myself, I didn't want to take on a project like that and learn and possibly have a headache down the road when I do a bigger setup. I just wanted a reliable setup, get it built properly, put it in, and let's go and push it towards the next goal, which is a lot more power for the next season, possibly next season. But all I ended up doing is reaching out to Alberta Racing Engines. I told them what I was looking for, and they gave me an estimate, and it was that simple. So they're gonna probably pick up the engine probably within the next couple weeks or whatever. Once we get the engine pulled, and then since the car is going to be sitting the rest of the winter, I'm done with the season with track stuff and whatnot, and with cold weather approaching and snow, she's just going to sit back in the garage, so I'll just get it towed back to the garage afterwards. But they'll have it all winter, and then I'll get it put in during the spring as well. But during the process, I'm hoping that I can get some footage, maybe even get the engine pulled, get some footage there as well for you. And even at Alberta Racing Engines, maybe we can kind of get in there, see some of the process, and take you along for that as well too. I'd really like to show you kind of how the engine's going and whatnot, and maybe future plans as well. So let's wrap this up. If you have any questions at all, feel free to mention it in the comments or whatnot, and I'll try my best to answer your questions. Or drop me a line on Instagram. I'm on there quite often, so feel free to send me any messages regarding the build on there. For any questions, if it's something I can help you or redirect you to the right people to talk to as well. But let's get this all buttoned up and then head to XS Company in the morning and go from there. So stay tuned. It's a chilly Tuesday morning. I'm just heading over to XS Company to drop the car off. So let's head over there and get this gen over at the shop. Hey, just dropped off the car at Excess Company, so it'll be sitting here for a little while the engine gets pulled. I'll try to get some more updates throughout the process as well. Yeah, let's drop off the keys. So with no delay, they got to the work right away and started pulling my engine. It didn't take too long. It was within the same week they started working on it. So now the engine's out and we are ready to drop it off with Alberta Racing Engines. I'm very excited, as doing it this way was a lot quicker than myself doing it, as it would rely on my work schedule outside of AlphaGen as well. So, but here, of course, you see my car also with their nice S2000s in the shop too. Just got home from Excess. As you saw, the engine's out of the car, so just waiting for Alberta Racing Engines to pick that up. But I organized a tow truck, so they are actually going to be bringing my car back here, so I can fiddle around with it over the winter, and also so they didn't have to worry about having it stored at Excess Company pretty much for half the winter probably, just while they're getting the engine built. So just waiting for the tow truck, push the car inside, and go from there. There's the Genesis. Well, the vehicle is safely back. The engine, of course, is out, so now Alberta Racing Engine is going to pick up the engine, as I mentioned before, and then I'll just wait a few months till it gets built. Who knows, maybe I'll get it towed and brought back to the shop earlier to get it put in, make sure everything is running good, so then we're definitely ahead of schedule for spring. But if you're curious on cost for something like this, I mean, I got a bit of a deal on the cost of the engine because I've been working with them on some other projects, and also, of course, I use Kenji as my dyno operator for a lot of the custom dyno tunes I do with AlphaSpeed as well. But on average, like, I did have some of the parts already. Like, I did have the gasket kits, I did have the pistons, the rods, I had the dart mid sleeves already ordered as well too, and a couple other items. So if I didn't have those kind of items, I would almost expect a build like that would be probably closer to maybe like 12K probably to get something built like that. Because I did have some of the parts, I would almost estimate, you know, if you had something similar to what I had on that sheet that I showed you earlier in the video, maybe expect maybe like 10K or something like that for the build. But the best thing to do, because you never know what kind of condition your block is in, once they start pulling it apart, always estimate higher. So I mean, if they give you an estimate, maybe plan to save up a little bit more, because you never know what they might encounter once they start pulling things apart, and just to be on the safe side as well. So if you want to reach out to them, if you are curious on your own build, not just Genesis stuff, but if you have another type of vehicle, just shoot them a DM, probably on like Instagram, or even through their email, and get a quote, and at least it kind of gives you a benchmark of where you could be or where you should be, I guess, with pricing. And if you don't have parts, they can also source some of that stuff as well for you too. So, and depending on what your goals are and whatnot. So I'm excited. I'll take you along for the rest of the journey as I get the engine, build it. Maybe I'll probably even stop by if you'd like. I mean, feel free to comment down below. I can even maybe get some footage at Alberta Racing Engines throughout the process of the build. Maybe get some, you know, behind the scenes stuff there if you'd like to. So, but thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.